On a cold Sunday evening, February 1st, 2026, the Oslo Police District shocked Norway and the world by arresting Marius Borg Høiby, the 29-year-old son of Crown Princess Mette-Marit. Just 2 days before the start of his long-anticipated criminal trial, officers charged him with assault, making threats with a knife, and violating a restraining order, actions authorities said occurred over the preceding weekend. The arrest came as the densely packed legal docket against him was poised to be heard in Oslo District Court, where he was already scheduled to defend against dozens of serious accusations, including acts of sexual violence and domestic abuse. Oslo judges agreed to detain him for up to 4 weeks to prevent further alleged wrongdoing before his trial begins. The dramatic timing of this arrest electrified Norwegian media and set the tone for one of the most closely watched cases in modern Nordic legal history. It wasn't just another high-profile arrest. This one came mere hours before the countdown to trial, raising questions about risk, accountability, and the legal process in a country that prizes both. As the calendar turned from 2025 into 2026, the mounting list of allegations against Høiby drew sustained national and international media interest. Prosecutors had formally charged him with 38 offenses spanning alleged sexual violence, domestic abuse, threats, assault, and drug-related counts, among others, a legal portfolio far larger than most cases of comparable gravity. He pleaded not guilty to the most serious counts, including the sexual violence allegations, while acknowledging some lesser charges in statements through his defense team. By late January 2026, 6 new charges were added to his case, just weeks before trial, intensifying scrutiny on his conduct and legal strategy. The newly added counts included accusations of transporting a significant amount of marijuana, as well as several alleged breaches of the restraining orders previously imposed on him. In response to the swelling docket and widespread press coverage, Crown Prince Haakon issued a rare public statement clarifying that Høiby is not a member of the official royal house of Norway and would not receive special legal treatment, while also expressing concern for all those affected by the case. He and Crown Princess Mette-Marit both announced they would not attend the trial. Throughout this period, reporters noted that Norway's royal family was navigating not just the legal drama around Høiby, but also intense public interest in how the monarchy would handle adversity amid other controversies. Before this latest arrest, the case had been building for over a year. On August 18, 2025, Norwegian prosecutors filed an official indictment against Høiby, charging him with 32 counts including sexual violence, alleged abuse in an intimate relationship, and various acts of criminal behavior. Prosecutors said evidence included messages, witness testimonies, and results from police searches. The charges alleged acts that, if proven, spanned several years and involved multiple alleged victims. Authorities described a pattern of conduct that justified an expansive set of counts, some of which dated back to 2018. At that time, Høiby was living near but separate from the royal household, and the media spotlight on his behavior intensified as details emerged about alleged incidents with former romantic partners. According to prosecutors, cases included accusations of rape, some involving intercourse, others without, sexual assault, bodily harm, and other alleged offenses. Høiby's defense team maintained he would challenge the most serious accusations in court. The legal storm began in earnest in August 2024 when police first arrested Høiby on suspicion of assault and bodily harm after responding to a disturbance at an apartment in the Frogner neighborhood of Oslo. Police sources and later media reports described a tense scene in which officers found signs of damage to the residence and alleged that the woman involved was harmed. Just over a month later, on September 13, 2024, police took him into custody again for allegedly breaching a restraining order and violating terms set after the initial incident. Høiby was released shortly thereafter. Recordings broadcast by Norwegian media added fuel to the public conversation, with Høiby apparently acknowledging striking a woman during an intoxicated altercation. Then, on November 18, 2024, authorities arrested him on suspicion of alleged sexual violence. He was held in custody at Hamar prison for several days before being released on November 27, 2024. Around this time, additional charges of abuse, violating a restraining order, and driving without a valid license were also laid. These multiple arrests over the latter half of 2024 marked a turning point. The Norwegian public began to focus intensely not only on the accusations themselves, but on how the law would handle someone so closely associated with the nation's royal household. It was clear that this was no ordinary criminal case. Born on January 13, 1997 in Oslo, Norway, Marius Borg Høiby grew up in the public eye from an early age. His mother, Mette-Marit Høiby, had him from a relationship before marrying Crown Prince Haakon in 2001. Though raised alongside his half-siblings, Princess Ingrid Alexandra and Prince Sverre Magnus, Høiby does not hold a royal title and is not in the official line of succession. Høiby's life had been more visible than most, and his upbringing alongside Norway's future monarchs made him a frequent subject in society pages. But the legal battles he faced later in life thrust him into much more intense scrutiny, sharply altering public perception of his personal story. Earlier brushes with the law included a 2017 conviction for drug possession at a music festival in Kristiansand, where he was fined for his offense. At the time, it was a relatively minor matter, but in retrospect, it marked the beginning of a pattern of legal entanglements that would follow him into adulthood. The core of the indictment against Høiby includes alleged acts that span both sexual violence and assault-related offenses. Prosecutors say some counts involve alleged rape, including allegations of intercourse and allegations without intercourse, as well as claims of sexual assault and bodily harm. In addition, the indictment cited alleged threats and harassment, violations of restraining orders, and unlawful filming of women without their consent. Some counts stemmed from physical incidents involving former partners. Others involved related behaviors that authorities classified as criminal offenses. Those charges were collected after a thorough investigation that reportedly drew on witness accounts, text messages, and materials seized during police searches. While prosecutors have argued that the accusations reflect a serious and sustained pattern of alleged conduct, Høiby's defense has repeatedly denied the most serious charges and pledged to put forward an alternative account during the trial. This case quickly became one of the most widely covered legal matters in Norway's recent history, with reporters from across Europe and beyond following each development. Media interest was driven not just by the gravity of the allegations, but by the fact that the accused is so closely linked to the nation's royal family. Thousands of international media requests poured into Norwegian courts as the trial date approached, reflecting worldwide fascination with the unfolding drama. Media outlets and public commentators also scrutinized the royal institution's role, whether there had been any internal influence on police procedures, and what this all meant for perceptions of power, privilege, and justice. In some quarters, it sparked broader discussions about how the Norwegian monarchy should navigate reputational issues amid intense public scrutiny. As the trial loomed in early 2026, other realities intersected with the legal narrative. Crown Princess Mette-Marit was reported to be facing health challenges related to pulmonary fibrosis, which may have influenced her and Crown Prince Haakon's decision not to attend the court proceedings. The couple released statements emphasizing their trust in Norway's legal system and their concern for all parties involved, while underscoring that Høiby is not an official royal family member despite his extended familial ties. The trial, scheduled to begin on February 3, 2026, was set to last 7 weeks, making it one of the longest court processes of its kind in modern Norwegian judicial history. The gathering of evidence, the volume of charges, and the wide range of alleged conduct promised a complex and highly detailed courtroom battle. The first major police intervention came on August 4, 2024, when officers detained Høiby in central Oslo after responding to a disturbance involving a woman he had been seeing. Police reports described damage to the apartment and alleged bodily harm. A knife was reportedly found embedded in a wall of the residence during the incident. This was followed by the September 13, 2024 arrest for alleged violations of a restraining order imposed after the August incident. Høiby was released soon after, but the string of legal entanglements was now underway. 2 months later, on November 18, 2024, he was again taken into custody, this time under suspicion of sexual violence. Norwegian police kept him in custody for about a week before releasing him on November 27, 2024, though additional charges related to abuse, violations of protective orders, and driving without a valid license were also announced. These earlier interventions formed the backbone of the investigation that would culminate in the 2025 indictment and the February 2026 trial. By the time of the February 1, 2026 arrest, just before trial, the case against Marius Borg Høiby had grown into an extensive and highly detailed legal confrontation, spanning years of alleged conduct, multiple arrests, dozens of charges, and widespread public attention. The dramatic timing of his detention only added to the national conversation about legal responsibility, equality before the law, and the intersection of personal conduct with institutional reputation. Whether Høiby will be found responsible for the most serious counts against him will be determined in the courtroom over the weeks ahead. But this case has already left a lasting imprint on Norwegian society and the global perception of one of Europe's last remaining monarchies. Thank you for watching. I'd really like to know what you think about it. Do you believe justice is being handled fairly here? Share your thoughts in the comments. If this breakdown was informative, please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you don't miss future updates.